save big at blindstart.com. I'm Joe Sonderman from the News Talk STL Traffic Center.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
So Mark Mantovani will be the Republican candidate for county executive. We'll see what Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft has to say about that at 9:41 on Friday.
Weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization,
70% tax credit.
After the uprising.
Like I'm J. Cole, I can tell her hair good before I even know.
That's fair. I know either one. And just say, so either one.
We want to make it a priority. Like, number one, they're not making it a priority. Number two, that doesn't mean it's secure. And then she immediately turns around and blames the insecurity of the border on the Republicans. So on the one hand, the border is secure. On the other hand, it's the Republicans' fault that it's not secure. It's like the kid saying, I didn't do it. It's my brother's fault, right? For breaking the, whatever that was broken in the house. This happens, and the same thing here. We're sanctuary cities, we accept anybody, and then you send 50 people here, and this is terrible.
You got people that
those are two mutually inconsistent
don't
positions.
even have a basic high school education.
And they don't see the obvious
voting for these people.
inconsistency that DeSantis and Abbott have surfaced here. Well, what about the border communities that have to take millions of these people? Well,
Yeah.
It's like we're blind to this, and I don't know how you can live in a bubble like that, but they obviously do.
Yeah, and it's so funny too. I mean, even I played earlier Whoopi Goldberg, and these people are already complaining like they're using taxpayer money. It's like, so you guys are finally concerned about the use of taxpayer dollars? It's so weird.
It's extremely weird, Jamie. And it's an interesting. I have interviewed you about this because you're the expert on the press. It's your profession. One of the things that tells me is they are completely unconcerned about an adversarial press. That they feel they can say anything.
Yeah.
And it will not be, immediately held up to ridicule by a pack of press people.
Right.
Because why? Otherwise, you couldn't possibly get away with this, right? Again, I've been in situations where, I've seen people. I don't think I ever slipped up this badly, but where you say something and they're all over you. You know what's supposed to happen in that situation with the press, right?
Oh yeah.
And it does. I don't.
Well, the hardest core you get is like with Ferret Face on Meet the Press, and there's Kamala saying the border's secure, and the best we get from is you really think the border's secure? I mean, when it's clear it's not. So if you're a journalist, you can say, no, here's the reasons why it's not. Boom, boom, boom. Instead of, you really think? I mean, because that's not adversarial journalism.
Yeah, you tell me what the journalists are they sitting there nodding their heads and
like the press secretary
actually accepting this very primitive kind of double think? Are they saying, oh yeah, that's a good answer, or are they cringing for the people they support, because they clearly support the Democrats? And are they sitting there cringing at how terrible these answers are? I don't know. I'd love to get an answer.
Well, I think that's, if we go way, way back in time, I think that is why Joe Biden believed that he didn't have to leave his basement. Because if he didn't go out and campaign, there are tons of people who would be campaigning for him, and they come in the form of NBC News, ABC News, CBS, CNN, in some cases Fox, MSNBC. So he didn't have to lift a finger. And I think he picked up on that long ago. And I think, to your point, there are plenty of individuals who are acting a certain way and saying certain things, knowing that there's no way anybody's going to question them. And that creates hubris. It also, fortunately for us, creates mistakes. so that we can take advantage of, much like a baseball team takes advantage of a hanging slider, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, it look at a certain point, it looks so ridiculous that everybody picks up on it, even though the press really isn't doing their jobs. I mean, I'd like to think that if it were me and it were a politician I supported, I would at a certain point say, "Oh, come on, you know, you're gonna have to do better than that. I don't care if you are my guy or gal, right? Come on, you got
Yeah.
better answers. I mean, you're telling us the border's secure.
Yeah.
I mean, come on."
Well, if anything, your audience doesn't believe it. So, I mean, unless their audience does, but I mean, they even work in being contrary to what their audience is thinking. So I don't even know why. No wonder their ratings are all. I mean, we used to fight over at Channel 4, 5, and 2 back in the day. We used to be like, I'll give you an example. We used to battle 5 and 2 on a 10 o'clock newscast. If we had a 15 and KSDK had a 14, that'd be amazing. Now they're all battling, but if you get a 2, you win the night. And the other guys all get a 1 or maybe a 3 or whatever. That's an indication that the people watching television are not doing so at the levels they were even 20 years ago when I was in television. So
it might be that their audiences now are so narrow that the audiences that they have left don't want them to ask the tough questions, and so they don't, because they're afraid of losing what they got left. I mean, that could be the case. You know, I just it's again from my perspective in particular, to be able to stand there in like a presidential press conference or a presidential press secretary press conference and say things, which, you know, to give an excuse for inflation one day and then to turn around and give the diametrically opposite excuse the next day.
Yeah.
And then the next day to give a third excuse and to say all this with a straight face and not to have a sense that, boy, you know, I'm really opening myself up to looking ridiculous here.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to relate to that mindset. It really is.
Totally agree. All right. Well, Senator Talon, I really appreciate you taking as much time as you do every Friday. You're a gem, and we appreciate you, my friend.
Okay. Have a good weekend.
You too. That is the great Jim Talon. He can talk about anything, and knowledge is great. Really appreciate that. Your phone calls are welcome. 314-556-6104. It's Common Sense Radio on this fancy Friday.
St. Louis has a new home for real talk. Jamie Allman, Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, and Buck Sexton, and Sean Hannity. The all-new 104.9. The Patriots.
This report is sponsored by InvisibleFence.com.
US 40.
The team did a big job of figuring out.
What's gonna miss it?
You're in today.
Hey, wake up, it's the first of the month. Some bone thugs, some busy bone. Hey, it's Barack Obama Avenue in East St. Louis.
It does signal. Cooled in. Get it? Oh yeah, I get it.
Speaking of some bone thugs.
Savings based on average from switching from hot to cold and non-HE machines.
St. Louis.
Visa approved credit, $18.37 per month per thousand borrowed regardless of down. Must own or trade a Mazda. Ends 9/30/22.